I've been a fan of Joji for almost a decade now, but this doesn't mean I'm always going to defend him. I have known him even back when he was doing his Filthy Frank's pink guy stuff, and he has always been to me a role model of versatility, having seen his transformation into a musician. In fact, his music has been important to me during my teenage years. I've had Ballet 1 and Nectar on repeat, being this last one his magnum opus to me. Even his lo-fi stuff, which maybe is superior, Chloe Burbank is unironically one of the best lo-fi hip-hop albums out there, I think, even if it's unofficial. But as I said, this is not going to make me always have a positive bias towards Joji. I got to admit that his music is downgrading, and this is easily his worst. In the first place, it is confusing to figure out what Joji's intentions are. He left 88 Rising, his prior music label, releasing a half-baked album called Smithereens, which he barely even wrote or produced. What did he do this for? Everyone thought he was going to pull Frank Ocean. He did not. Everyone thought he was going to leave his label, releasing a half-baked project intentionally to then release music with actual intention and artistry, with no restrictions from the label, and where he's actually in power of the production, writing, everything. But in Piss in the Wind, do we actually hear that? No, it is just Smithereens extended cut. The reasons for which he abandoned the label were not necessarily linked to the music after all. After all, I think it might have been because of him being mistreated despite his health problems, which of course is reasonable. People are still doing stuff for him, which is not bad. I mean, in Nectar, several producers were in charge. The difference is that the work of the producers and the writing here seems very distant from Joji's real style. Unimpressive lyrics that Joji wouldn't really write. Joji's voice is beautiful, of course, but still you can hear how soulless and monotone it is. You hear a couple of minutes of these soulless contractual tracks with basic instrumentation, and then you hear the actual Joji singing on those bassy trap beats he's been making for a while, for a couple of minutes more. In fact, I think he's been making these beats for Plumcorp Audiovisuals Content, owner of Dracula Flow, in case you don't know. These more Joji-esque beats, I think, are way more interesting and true to self, and I recognize that something positive about these tracks too is that the man has started rapping again. I actually like the song Cigarette, even though it is again a little half-baked. The intention might also have been to make a balance between all of his prior stuff, between the more contractual stuff and his own style. These two styles mainly. Unfortunately, it is not executed in the most cohesive way. Maybe there is a sense of consistency in the album, but that is also because of how consistently inconsistent it is. And that takes me to my next point. The biggest problem is that all of these songs are quite underdeveloped. They don't really have an interesting structure or enough variation to feel like proper compositions. And many of the songs have the potential to be really good songs actually, but they just get cut abruptly, such as the song If It Only Gets Better or the song Silhouette Man, which some people say is the worst of the album, but I think it actually has a lot of potential. I actually love the key change on that one. When the fans saw the track list and the short lengths of the songs, they thought this was going to be more of an album experience where the tracks transition in some way to the next one and there is some sense of cohesiveness and movement between songs. But no, this is not some rap songs by Earl Sweatpants. The songs here don't even have connection and they don't even feel complete. It has more of the feeling of a compilation of snippets and interludes, and this doesn't give the feeling of an album as it is presented, and this is the main issue, I think. If you want to listen to Joji actually making an effort and having a consistent style, listen to his earlier stuff, such as In Tongues, Ballet 1, and Nectar, which is his magnum opus to me, and where the tracks are fully formed and way more interesting despite Joji not being the main producer. You might think artists change over time. Now he wants to make short, simple songs, and it's totally fine. I think it's a cool idea. It just doesn't make it good to me. This is not personal at all. He can be a great guy with good intentions, but this is just not it. It just feels like the man is running out of fuel. Or maybe not. Maybe he's just lazy. It's probably that, he's just lazy. I think he still has interesting ideas, he just doesn't feel the need to develop them too much. He just wants to finish the songs and release them as soon as possible. And this idea of short songs is not bad itself, it just could have been executed better. I don't know if his intention was to create an unsatisfying and inconsistent listen, but if that's the case, he achieved it. I don't really think that was the intention with in this project though. I see the intention here was to drop the album and please the starving fans. Rating music is weird, but I will give this one a 3.4 out of 10. It is disappointing, it hurts a little bit because I have followed Joji for like 10 years, I think, at this point, and I've always rooted for him. But I got to admit that he's just being mediocre, and this is not good. This is not worth your time, and yeah, I won't be replaying this. So, if you're a Joji fan, I would like to know your take on this album. If you love it, if you think that your goat actually fell off, if that's pretty much it. Goodbye.